Good morning, SRP.
Good morning.
And how are you today?
I'm good. Very
Excellent. Today I brought you in to have a look at some frames. I'll do some adjustments on some of the frames that you like and we'll get them sitting perfectly. We may not manage to do the dispense today, but we can do everything else. So to start with, I'm going to ask you some lifestyle questions.
Okay.
Now, first thing is that I understand the reason you've come today is because you've just had your cataracts surgery. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've just had the last one done now.
Right. What problems did you experience before the cataract surgery?
Well, the vision was very blurry. I was struggling to see the television clearly, the words across the screen. And I was struggling to do my hobbies.
And what are your hobbies?
I like to play golf once a week. And then in the week, I tend to go fishing a couple of times.
Oh, are you any good at fishing?
Not really, I just like the relaxation part.
And where do you fish? Do you do canals or what do
Local
you do?
Ponds.
The local ponds. Have you ever been to Chasewater?
Yes, I have. Not fishing though.
Ah, right, you ought to try that.
Right.
They've got some nice sized pike in there.
Okay, I'll try it out then.
All right. Now, you've been struggling with TV, blurry vision. Did you find any problem with the sun when you got your cataracts?
Well, there was a lot of glare.
Yeah, that would be caused because your lens was opaque, and that would, as soon as the light hit it, it would spread.
Yeah, that's what the optometrist told me. And things didn't seem as bright as they used to. I mean, now that they're done, you can see.
Yeah, colours always looked dirty, didn't they?
Murky, browny, yellowy.
Yeah.
In colour.
What about now that you've had the surgery done?
Well, I'm still a bit sensitive to light.
Yeah.
The distance vision is much better and brighter.
And what about the colours?
Well, they're more vivid. I can see the green.
You don't need to redecorate now like you thought.
No. I can see the greens on the golf course much richer.
But we still need to do something about the glare, because now everything's brighter. You're getting a different type of glare now, aren't you?
Yeah.
From the sun.
Yeah. Well, the optometrist told me that my distance would get better, which it has. I think it could be a bit sharper.
Yeah.
But it's the reading now, and
yes, because now your lens is corrected for. They've put you a new lens in, which is for the distance vision, but they can't correct distance and near. They can do something that would suffice when they're changing it, but there's always a compromise there.
Yeah.
All right. So, shall we have a look at some frames to start with?
Yes, please.
So, the other thing is, you like a bit of football, don't you? You like to watch football.
Yes, I do.
Who do you support?
Do I have to tell you?
Well, if you want to.
Manchester United.
I thought so. That's why I've purposely got you some Manchester United glasses,
Right.
Black and red glasses.
Right.
Have a look at them. This particular pair has got some specialist demonstration lenses. If you was to breathe on the lens, on the inside of the lens, you'll see that it's like a honeycomb effect.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite clever, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing.
That's designed for people who struggle a little bit with keeping words together. They're not designated as having an eye problem, but when they're studying, it's hard to concentrate. And with this type of lens, they can concentrate a lot better because it keeps it all together.
That's fascinating. So it's a honeycomb design, is that what they're calling it?
Yeah.
Right. Do you think bifocals would be best for like when I'm on the golf course and things like that?
Actually, no. I would say that you want your distance vision as normal, because if you've got the bifocal, what happens is that as you're looking down at the golf club to swing, you're looking through the bifocal part and it obstructs the vision. So we do have a special gadget that we can put onto the spectacles, and this is it. So this would correct your reading vision, and in fact if I use your Manchester United glasses, I'm just going to put this on. So that just clips onto the glasses like normal, like so. If you put them on now, and you look forward, but you can see that slightly obstructs your vision, but you can flip that up now. That flips up out of the way. So now, as you get ready to play your golf,
right,
you find there's no obstruction.
Yeah.
When you want to do your scorecard, flip that down. You can see your scorecard to do your scoring.
Oh yeah.
It's clever, isn't it?
Very good.
There are other ways that we can do it to correct for playing golf and doing your scorecard with the same glasses. Right. Instead of having to carry that monster on top of your glasses, you can have a bifocal, but the bifocal is, if you're right-handed, you're going to be looking to the right. So on your left lens, just on the outside edge, we can put the bifocal segment there. Then when you're doing your scorecard, you're looking down, you can see it to do your scorecard. Of course, you're not doing much reading with that, so that's ideal as your golf glasses to do it that way.
Is the bifocal just in one lens or both?
You would
lenses?
only need it in one lens for
in
the golf glasses, yes.
Oh, okay.
And it'll be on the outside edge of the left lens. If you're left-handed, you put it on the outside of the right lens.
There are specific lenses, aren't there?
Yeah, but they work. It's just like, I know you've said you're not really that keen on heights, but if you was a pilot, you could have what's called a trifocal, and that's where you have the segment at the bottom, which is set at intermediate, and also at the top, which is set at intermediate. Your middle is for you to look out and look for flying in the distance, but you've got your control panel at the top, which you need to be able to see. So your intermediate distance is arm's length away, and that can see the control panel at the top, and then you've got your control panel at the bottom, and that's what the other intermediate segment's for.
So what you're saying, anything's possible then with
we can always look at something that's possible. There is never anything that can't be done. There are some things, I normally say we can do the impossible, but miracles take a bit longer.
It's a good analogy.
Right. So we've had a look at that one. I haven't actually looked at the fit on these, but I can have a look, because as you can see with this, that's been bent round that way, which I think was done ready for you, but you'll notice that side hasn't been adjusted. So there's definitely an adjustment required for these. So I'm just going to lean over. Yeah, the right is correct. I'm just going to adjust the left. Now I've got here a bead heater, and all we do with that, we bury the side, and these are nice and hot now. You can smell the heat coming off this. Don't want it too hot, because I can demonstrate what happens. It's not hot enough yet.
It's better than the conventional frame heater, because there's no noise.
The frame heaters are very, very noisy. But with these, you can actually, if you overheat the frame, the beads stick into the plastic and it ruins the plastic. Now you can see there it's only done. This one I thought was just a fraction too. And I know this is up to temperature because the light's just gone off. Now just be careful, because that's a little bit warm. You can feel the difference now, can't you?
Yep.
Alright.
So you're recommending this frame?
Well, I think you'd like that because of it being a Manchester United frame.
Certainly the right colours.
There was one we saw at a previous time. This one is black and red. This is the black, red and crystal one that you saw before. This one gives you a very big eye size. Ideal if you wanted to have polarized lenses. It gives you good eye coverage and stops the sun getting in behind. Can you think of why I would recommend the polarized lenses for you?
My friend who fishes wears polarised lenses as well.
Yeah, it's because when you've got polarised lenses on and you're doing your fishing, you can actually see under the water, so you
That's
can
what
see
he
where
said.
the fish are.
You could see a little bit below the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're thinking polarised fishing?
I'm thinking of a big eye size, but that's one option. But there is something else we could do. Instead of doing that particular frame, we have in here these are called over specs. So for example, you put your Manchester United frame on, so you wear and you're going fishing. You haven't got to think, oh, have I brought my polarised? Put those over the top. Now you've got your polarised glasses, you've still got your corrected vision, and now you can see under the water.
Protection comes from
It's every single angle. So due to the fact that you're suffering with extra glare from the cataract surgery, the sun can't get in at the side either. You can't get in from over the top. So that would do everything.
Okay, yeah, they're great. Can you wear these when you're driving?
You can during daylight. You can't wear them at night.
Okay.
You have to have a minimum of 80% light transmission coming through the lens.
Which this is definitely not, is it?
That's more like 15%, 20% at the most.
UV protection, brilliant.
Yeah. I'm not going to put them back yet. I'll put them there because we might come back to them. Now, with your reading glasses, you don't like to carry anything big and bulky.
True.
So to get you a pair of reading glasses, I know this one's going to need an adjustment, but this particular one, you'll notice it's a very small lens shape, but to bring you the extra width, it comes straight out. So although the lens finishes there, the frame finishes quite a lot further out. Don't be too worried, it definitely needs an adjustment.
Do I wear these more on the end of my nose?
Well, you
When I
wear them
read?
where it's comfortable for you, but it's designed to be worn closer to your eyes.
Is it?
That's probably about the best position for them. Yes, I know it's crooked.
But I can look over the top though, can't I?
Yes.
For television.
Yeah.
So I'd be inclined to just do
Because
this.
you look down to read, so that means you literally just use your eyes to look. If you was wearing varifocals, you would look at things in a totally different way.
Yes.
But as you've found you can't get on with varifocals, then we're looking at all the other options that are available. Do you want me to do that adjustment so it sits correctly?
Yes,
for you?
please.
So with this, I don't need to use the frame heater. My first thing is to measure. Let's just move the pupil on my tab. Once I've done this frame, I'm just going to make some notes so that I can keep up with it. You can see here how much that's moved, that's out. So I'm going to adjust nice and gently. I don't want to force it because I don't want to break the frame.
Is this a don't try this at home manoeuvre?
This is, let's use this wording. If you want to adjust it, you go ahead and adjust it. Just remember, if you break it, you pay for it. If you take it to the opticians and the opticians break it, usually it's them that have to pay for it. Isn't that a good way to think of it? So it's not saying you can't do it, It's just be aware of the risk. Now you see that's nicely balanced now. So when you try this on now, it should be a little bit easier.
Okay. What material are the pads, and can you get softer ones?
Yeah, those are quite firm, aren't they, those pads? But you can get silicone pads.
I've had softer ones on my glasses before.
Yeah, the silicone pads are very soft, but some people are allergic to the silicone.
I don't think I've had problems before with the silicone ones. Do they look okay?
They do, yes.
Straight. Okay.
So that's just showing you a frame. Now this particular one has been made up. It's a folding half eye, and it's been made up with plus 350 lenses, just so that you can see what it looks like. But this one folds up very small. We were talking about having small lenses. So you have a look at that one opened up, and when you think that that's the case, that fits into
This design here,
it's good, isn't it?
they're futuristic, aren't they?
Yeah, but again, that's designed so that it's not just going to fall apart once you've opened it up a few times.
Did you say half eye?
It's a half eye, so it is designed to sit low. You perhaps don't want it that far from your eyes, because what you're doing is adding to the prescription when it's that far away.
Yeah.
Which means your reading material has to be closer.
This has to be really close.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I can work a bit further back.
Yeah.
And still have.
I mean, these are a bit higher in prescription than what you would normally have anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Closer to the eyes, I can decrease the working distance. Good. And now that we know the prescription, we'll get this bang on, won't we?
Yeah. That one, I don't need to do any adjustments. But I can fold that back up. I'll show you how it folds. So the first thing we fold are the sides. We fold them in, because obviously once you've folded other parts you can't do that. Then you fold the second part of the side, and that comes in right up to the middle, and then it just folds on top of each other like
Brilliant.
so. How small and neat is that for in your pocket?
But you don't see many of these around these days, do you?
No. And then that just slides in. No, that's the pocket. That's where your cloth goes. It's bigger in the back. That's where the spectacles go. Perfect in your shirt pocket. How neat is that?
Very. Very practical.
I'm just going to make some notes. So we talked about manurited specs, honeycomb lens, Golf Edition, clip on, Golf Bifocal, Pilot, Trifocal, Polarized overspec, small near vision frame, folding half eye for near vision. So I think that's my notes up to date, so that when you come back I'll know everything that we've discussed, and I'll have ticks in the boxes that work and crosses where they don't.
Okay.
So I'm just going to put this back on here. So I've got something very unusual here. This is a very much a Deirdre Barlow type frame.
Brilliant. I do love
We have
Coronation Street.
the grey sides and peach on the front with a two-tone crystal.
Mm.
It is a very large frame.
Oh my
'cause
goodness.
These are what are coming back in fashion.
All I need now is my carrier bags and my shopping cart.
There you go. Don't they look gorgeous?
Should we go to the Rover's Return, love?
Yeah, a pint of their best beer.
Mm. Okay.
I don't think they're quite what you'd choose, are they?
If I lost my mind, I might go for those.
Yeah. And that's the same with this one here as well. The last one you tried on was called Denise. That one's called Shirley. So now the first one, the one with the red and grey, was Shirley. That last one was Denise. This one's called Juliet.
But I look like a Betty.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. Do I have to write you a cheque for these services?
Not quite. Now we'll go on to something a bit more sensible. How about, this is a nylon frame. This is actually made of nylon.
It looks like wood
So,
from here.
The advantage of nylon is it's hypoallergenic. It's very comfortable to wear. Disadvantage, they're generally a very bulky frame. If you overheat this frame, it melts, and it can cause severe burns if you overheat it. I've got my motto on there. What does it say on that?
Helping the world to see. Nylon.
Yep.
Your name's Nylon. They are bulky, aren't they?
They're very good to block out the sunlight coming from the sides.
Mm.
So if you didn't want to go for that over spec, you can have something like this.
Mm.
That would make a very, very good sunglass.
Instead of those. Okay. It's good for on holiday, maybe.
Yeah. Means less bulk. You've got your prescription, you've got your sunglasses, and of course you'll notice it's very lightweight as well.
Feels smooth as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy to glaze lenses into as well.
They're very easy to glaze.
It feels quite substantial to me.
Yeah. And I'm not going to adjust this. It doesn't really need it. Now this one is actually a ready reader, but it's a ready reader with a big difference. This particular one has got no prescription in most of the lens, but then it's got a reading at the bifocal segment. But the frame itself is an ophthalmic frame, can be glazed at any time, and it's a very good quality library frame.
Can we get different powders here available?
Yep.
+3 might be just a little bit too strong for me.
Yeah, in that particular range, I've actually got stock from +1 up to +4, going up in 1 steps.
Okay.
So that's 125, 150, 175, 250. Sorry, 225, 250, 275, 3, 325, 350. I don't have a 375 that goes on to 4.
Thinking maybe 250, perhaps, if this is a 3.
I'm thinking that yours is probably more like a +2
Right.
to get you a good working distance.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think of that frame? It's like a high quality tortoise shell colour, isn't it?
I feel like it's bowed forward.
The frame may well be. It's not, but it's not got the bow that it should have. It's flat.
Can it be adjusted then?
Yes, in fact I'll show you how. I'll do that now. So to do this though, I'm just going to pop these lenses out. I don't want to put the lenses into the heater because it will damage the lenses. I'm might not put them lenses back. So what I'll do, I'll bury the frame in that. Leave it for about 20 seconds. I always put it further than it needs because it does come back. You can see now how I've put the bow in. If you put them back on now, just so that you can see.
Better.
Yeah, they feel more comfortable now, don't they?
Brilliant. Thank you.
Like I said, I'm not going to put them lenses back yet because I want to concentrate on looking after you rather than putting them back together. Now then, let's find something a little bit different. Here we have a very high quality frame, and again we've put some bifocals into this. This is really because, knowing what you wanted initially, we wanted to make sure they were set up right for you.
Look like a different type of bifocal.
That one's called a C segment bifocal, or a curved top. So instead of being perfectly flat like on this one, so you can put the two together to have a look.
Yeah, this is the one I had in my head, the flat top.
That's called the a flat top or D segment. If it was in glass, it would be called an S segment lens.
This one?
Yeah, but in plastic it's a D segment.
Why would it be an S?
Because that's the name they gave it, in the S. You have to distinguish the two. If you don't turn around and say I've got a glass flat top bifocal. You just say I've got an S segment bifocal. In the plastic lens, it'd be I've got a D segment bifocal, or a flat top. In both cases would still.
So we call this a round top or a C in plastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Quite wide, aren't they?
They're very wide, but again, the idea being, with the anti-reflection coating in them lenses as well, the sun, when it hits from the back, doesn't bounce back on the light into your eyes, but coming from the front, the sun isn't going to get past the glasses. And in fact, those have got reaction lenses in as well.
Have they?
So these will go dark in the sunlight, and they go light again afterwards. Let's find something a bit smaller, but a little bit different to look at. Sorry, the lenses are dirty. Try them on. You've got spring-loaded sides. You've got quite a small lens shape. It's black and silver in colour, which is quite an unusual combination.
I like those.
Yeah.
I think they're sleek. Very nice.
Excellent. So that's giving you an extra option.
Thank you.
Now, there was something that very small that caught your eye earlier as she was coming in. Just look a little bit childish to me, but you quite liked the look of it. It's too small for you
They're
anyway.
an awful fit.
It does show, though, doesn't it, that there's so many different sizes of frame. You can't expect them all to fit.
Thank you.
But I did say that looked a bit childish, didn't I? And these are another children's size. It is a little bit wider than the previous one.
Yeah.
But again, nowhere near a good fit,
No.
big enough to fit. This one is a much more sensible frame, but sensible is the word. It's not the height of fashion.
I think I was looking at these ones earlier.
Yeah. That's a good fit. That one's called Smoke, the colour. It's not a deep brown colour. It's almost see-through, but it's in that smoky brown colour, or smoky grey. It's like a cross between the two, isn't it? And I know you like this frame because you've had this one before. And that is very fashionable at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, that'll need to be adjusted after, I think. I do like those. I like the matte finish. Lovely.
Got one more. Let's try this one. Yeah, apart from the diamantes, that's all right. I think the diamantes say for me no to that one for you.
Okay.
So I'm just going to make a note of some of the frames now. So all the positives I've put a tick next to. I've written down and put a tick, and all the negatives I've put a cross next to. I've put bifocals as a possibility, but not a necessity. All right.
Yeah.
Now then, I'm going to do a couple of measurements now, just to finish off.
Okay.
So I'll use the pupil distance meter. Just make sure it's set correctly first of all. Right, so if you'd like to stand up for me. So if you want to hold on to this like you're holding a pair of binoculars, right, can you see the light in the middle? So that's the binocular. Do that again if you want to hold it again. Could only see one eye then. That's it. That's your pupil distance measurement off here, 63.5.
Right.
And I've never measured you that much difference before. It's saying 30.5 millimetres to your nose from the right eye and 33 the left. Next measurement, I'm going to use this again, but this time I don't need to hold it to you. I'm going to measure the distance now. So at 30 centimetres away, it's measuring 28 and 30.5. 5 centimetres away, which I think is the distance you like to read, It's 28.5 and 30.5, so I'm just going to put that on.
Oh, that's clever.
.40 centimetres, it's 28.5 and 31. And at 50, which is your half metre, is 29 and 31.5. 65 is 29.5, 31.5. And your computer distance, because you sometimes need for your computer distance, I'm going to put that down as well. That's the intermediate pupil distance reading, and that's 29.5 and 32. PD meter out the way. I'm going to do all the same measurements now, but using the PD ruler. So again, if you'd like to stand up for me. So if you'd like to look at my pen, and then across, and I'm not going to do monocular, I'm just going to do binocular PD measurements, and I get that as 64. And now I'll do, no, sorry,
It's alright.
I haven't finished yet. Now I'm going to do your reading distance. So if you look at my pen there, .61.5. And for 1 metre away now. So again, looking at it, 63. Alright, that's all the measurements.
Brilliant.
If you want to have a seat
Thank
again. Alright, so I've got the measurements I need. If we'd chosen a frame today, I would have measured the length of the side to where we need to bend it, and possibly even the angle that we need across the back of the ears. What we want is for it to be nice and firm, but what we don't want is for it to push against your ears. If it's pushing against your ears, they're very, very sensitive. After an hour or two of wearing them, they'd be very sore. So hence we don't like to do it straight angles.
Right.
It's a poor dispense if it's straight down. So we measure the angle, get the angle right, and if you feel the back of your head, you can actually feel there's a little notch. The aim is to put that glasses into that notch.
Okay.
It can't go forward, but it's not very sensitive there.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, lovely.
There is what's called a fitting triangle, and the fitting triangle is when we try the glasses on you, we measure from the nose first of all. Any adjustments there will affect the length of the side. So we always do that part first. Then we check here. If we have to open the spectacle frame to widen the sides, that would also affect where it would end up behind your ears. So we always start bridge, temple, and then behind your ears.
Right.
And that's called the fitting triangle.
All right. Learn something new. Yeah. Lovely.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
No, I'll probably be back soon now to
Yeah,
go ahead with the dispensers.
I've written down all of these frames. I'll give you a copy of everything of all the results we've found for today, and then you can go away. You can come back with an informed decision and choose which ones you want.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.